However, let's get to Try Me and why Sarkodie actually recorded Try Me. And was the song leaked? Somehow, I feel Sark told a lie right here. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mordin, and I'm back again with another entertainment news update right here. So, this is the thing. I just saw this interview pull up 3 hours ago, and I decided to react to it. So I was watching. First of all, I just wanted to watch and enjoy the whole interview, and then Sark was questioned about this Yvonne Nelson thing, right? And just when he was narrating the whole thing, something caught my attention, like off. It was so off, and I just didn't want to leave it like that, right? From the interview, Sark hit up the lady for the interview, which is like good networking, you know. You hit up people, you try to create access and try to create, leverage your presence in a country for the maximum good. So that's what he did. And I think it's good that he has this opportunity to speak out on certain things, right? Listening and watching the interview so far, the lady has done her research. I mean, I think the contact was on short notice because Sark just got to the States. You know, he did a show or two, and to be able to connect with someone who isn't present. When I mean present by way of the Ghanaian media, to have in-depth information about Sark, you know, and to be asking certain line of questions, it makes a lot of sense. And I think this might be the reason why Sark even decided to do the interview with her, because it speaks out. I mean, she did her research, and it's good in a way. I like the way Sark was also very relaxed and was answering the questions and all that. It's good. It makes sense. However, let's get to Try Me and why Sarkodie actually recorded Try Me. And was the song leaked? Somehow, I feel Sark told a lie right here. But I will go through the video with you so that we will get to it. So this is the point where I want us to start from. Let's get to it and listen.
You know, you just
let them poke the bear. Yeah,
exactly.
Poke the bear. And because I'm the same way. If people talk crazy about me, I don't like to address things because I feel like it gives it way more life.
Exactly.
And I see people do it all the time. And instead of me engaging in a back and forth, I'm like, you know what? Go ahead. I'm going to just keep on doing my thing. And
so this part, Sark was actually saying that he doesn't really like to feed into trending issues. Anything that happens, anything that comes out as a rumor about him or stuff like that, he hates addressing it. He doesn't want to give it energy because he's not that type of person, right? And so the lady was also saying she's that type of person, she will let it go and all that's right. So then the question comes, was there any part of your team that knew about this and why you did this? Because according to Sark, he has only addressed people twice. I think the advice to Sarkodie, to Shatawale, and then this one to Yvonne Nelson, right? But then he leaves bits and pieces in songs to address people in general. So let's go.
Not let anybody knock me off my square.
True.
But this time you said you not only, it wasn't a line or two. So I want to know,
the whole record.
Who did you let hear this first? Was anybody in the studio with you when you did this?
Funny.
Please.
Now listen to this part very well. Listen to it very well, critically.
My team is here. They're all like, people think my team is in support of what I did or did the record. None of them knew I did the record because I was on tour. I'm actually on tour when it happened.
Yes.
So, and sometimes when I feel something, then the lyrics is going to come right there and then. So I sneaked into the studio to even record this. I didn't let nobody hear it.
So a true artist, right? You feel a certain type of way. You just want to put your thoughts to pen and then to beat. That was just what Sark did, which is good because as an artist, you want that liberty, right? Sometimes you just want the freedom to create. And that is what I think most of these record labels take away from artists. But as an independent artist who can do a few things yourself, I mean, whenever you feel the vibe, you can do it, right? And so he said, just pay attention to this. He said none of his crew, his team, knew about this. He was on tour. He sneaked into the studio to record this, right? Nobody knew about it, right? So nobody actually advised him on anything that put this out and all that because he didn't want that. He just had some type of feeling and he wanted to put it out there. And so because of that, he didn't want anybody to say something to contradict any other thing, right? Let's get into it.
Because I didn't want to hear no advice.
Right.
I just literally want to do what I felt at that point.
he didn't want any advice. He just wanted to do what he felt. Let's go.
Yeah, and face the consequences later on, but it wasn't like that.
So he was also ready to face the consequences, right? Because at the moment, in the heat of the moment, he felt some type of way and he wanted to let it out. Follow this carefully.
The whole team sat down and said, this is good to go. I did it personally for myself.
So none of the team sat down to decide that, okay, let's take this song out. He did it personally. Pay attention. He did it personally.
But he's like, what are you doing? I can imagine those phone calls and text messages.
A lot of phone calls. So in the heat of the moment, the person that I didn't hear from, which normally she would have been the first person to hit me, is my lawyer. So early morning, I was trying to tease her, and I said, Mama C, so don't you care about what's happening? Because you would hit me up and say, what are we doing? But the sad news is she was dead at the same time.
What?
So this is the sad occurrence. We also on Twitter when Sark's lawyer passed on, right? And it so happened that he was actually looking forward to her reaction on what she might say after the song came out. But sadly, she was gone, right? So he speaks about it a little bit, and you can also understand the emotional stress to go through during this type of phase. You know, all these things just happens, you know.
Yeah, so I see 2 texts go. I didn't hear, of course, she would respond like within 5 minutes.
Wow.
It took hours, and then I heard she's no more. So
just within that period,
that's awful. Like a very tough time within that short period.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Good.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Ooh,
yeah, so she would have been somebody who I know wouldn't.
I'm sure Sark doesn't like to put emotions out there most of the time, and so this passing of the lawyer, one way or the other, he's going to address it when his emotions come to a conclusion, right? He's going to bring it out.
Endorse that situation of how I wanted to handle it, but I just felt like it. Like this, I normally don't do it, but this, to me, I think I'll get to a point where I can speak freely about it. I think it's still fresh, that I still want to process it before I can really speak. You know.
And this is something that happened a really long time ago. Yeah. So this is something that she brought back up. And then I know in interviews you don't even really like to address things like this, but since you put the song out, and it felt like somebody leaked it first.
Yes.
And
so this is the part I want us to get to. You follow the conversation. Sarkodie was like, hey, I sneaked into the studio. I recorded everything myself. I didn't sit to discuss anything with the team, and so they didn't know about it and all that. And so I had to put it out there myself. Listening to what we listened to earlier, that is it. Now, the lady was saying that it looks as if it was leaked. Listen to Sark's response.
As I said before, I can really speak. You know.
And this is something that happened a really long time ago. Yeah. So this is something that she brought back up. And then I know in interviews you don't even really like to address things like this, but since you put the song out, and it felt like somebody leaked it first.
Yes.
And so maybe you didn't even intend to put it out. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
So Sark says exactly. You know, the woman was saying it seems or it looks like somebody put it out, and Sark was like exactly, right? That is Sark saying that somebody actually leaked it, but he didn't put it. This is the first question mark. We'll get to it.
Okay. So you're like, well, it's here now.
Because it's in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Where I was, it was like very late. I think 2 a.m.
So now he goes to describe the leakage.
And then I see Twitter going crazy and people putting out the record.
Oh, so dang.
I have no idea because I didn't give it to...
So here, he wanted to, you know, sometimes when you are saying certain things and you catch yourself off guard going way off board and you want to correct it before it becomes something, but the harm has already been caused, but he just didn't know, right? To say that you didn't give it to anyone, which is true, per what he was narrating, if he is saying that he never made anyone hear the song. I mean, he went to the studio to record all alone because he didn't want anybody to advise him on anything, right? Then definitely, Sark never gave the song to anybody because somebody will have to listen to it and an advice will come, right? So definitely, the song was only with Sarkodie. Unless Sarkodie is trying to play the big man role here and take the blame for himself and just taking everybody out of the equation. I mean, he's a leader. I think that is what he is actually driving at, that he's trying to take the blame so that nobody will be blamed for anything. That is what Sarkodie is actually doing right here. That is what I think, right? But going with the narration he's giving, Sarkodie is just telling a lie. Nobody leaked the song. He put the song actually out there by himself, because you can tell from the way things are going that it's a clear lie. I mean, if you sneaked into the studio because you want to put your thoughts to pen and to the beat, and you did the whole thing yourself without letting anybody listen to it because you don't want anyone to advise you, you just want that emotion to get out there and you want to speak your mind, it is good. And for you to say that it was leaked, I mean, just agreeing to what the lady said and now going off to say that it's amongst 3 of your people, but you just don't want to mention anything. Listen.
So I have like 2-3 people that I don't want to suspect. You know, it's going to create some energy because I did it just to hold on to it.
So now listen. First of all, he was in the heat of the moment. He just want to do it and get it out there off his chest. Now he did it to hold it. He did it to hold on to it, right? And something he didn't want an advice from anybody, all of a sudden he's suspecting 2 or 3 people. How does that make sense? Help me in the comment section, because I want to make sense out of it, right?
And see if I'm going to release it. But then when it came out, I was like, let me just put it out. Yeah.
Okay, so you see, Sark is just contradicting himself. So then when it came out, he's referencing the Twitter. When it came out, I just had to put it out. So now, did you put it out, Sark? Or 2 or 3 people in your team put it out? You know, these are some of the things that happens. You know, sometimes you just don't have to address a situation. Sark, just don't address it. I mean, people fought your battles for you. Those who liked you and all, they fought your battles for you. You didn't have to put a record out. I mean, the record even made some people dislike you because you spoke against womanhood. I mean, for your type of brand you're building, people least expected you to address the issue the way you did, right? And this is one thing I don't like about certain men, right? If you've been with a woman who you think is a prostitute or a whore, whatever you may want to call the person, you were once with the person, right? So trying to demean the person's character or insult the person in public simply because the person stepped on your toe, you should also know that whatever dirty way you paint the person, then you are also a type of person who likes or is attracted to dirt. That's the same way. So if you've been with a woman, never excuse my language, never shit on them, right? Because you were with them. Because if they are drenched in mud, you love mud, right? It's just as simple as that. And so some of the things you can address it without going the way you went hard on Yvonne Nelson. I mean, Yvonne Nelson's book, she was hurting. If you read the book, this is somebody who doesn't even know the father. And so she has a certain built mentality about men in general. Because for people who don't grow up with fathers, most women will tell you in their whole life, even when they are in their quest to search for love, they are only looking for somebody who would equally replace that father love they never had. So this is the angle, and she's not healed. Writing the book or the memoir is what is actually healing her. It's part of the healing process. And so I don't like the fact that most Ghanaians were even talking about the fact that she shouldn't have written the book and all that stuff. I just decided not to do any video on it because we live in a society where we just frown on almost any and everything, but we forget about the most important thing, mental health of individuals, right? And so she had every right to do whatever she wanted to do in the book. Culturally, I know people wouldn't like that, but at the same time, we don't have the proper institutions to deal with whatever Yvonne Nelson is going through. I mean, we don't take seeing psychologists even serious in the country. When you're going through something, to go and see a clinical psychologist to talk about some of these things, we don't take them serious. Anybody who makes a move to want to do that, they'll reference you as Accra Pantine or Accra Psychiatric Hospital as if you're mad and all that kind of stuff. And we ridicule people like this, right? So that is the problem. And this, Sark, you didn't try. I mean, you better not talk about it, but to come and lie about it, I mean, this is just a blatant lie. Unless, obviously, you are covering your team, which I think you are. But, I mean, putting things out there like this for any correct thinking person, I mean, they won't rate you that high with what you just did. But good interview anyways. This is what I saw and I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Let's conclude it.
You do that often, like something goes on and you're like, let me just do a song about it and then kind of put it away, like kind of like a getting something off your chest diary, because you do come from that school of rap battle.
Okay, so let's end it right here. It's a great interview. I'll put a link in the description below. Go watch the full interview for yourself and decide what you think about this interview. Sark is out there doing the Jams World Tour. He was already in Europe. He's currently in America trying to do some shows. I mean, there was some videos circulating with him and Justin Bieber and all that. It's a great thing. This is good one for Ghana music. I just thought I should make this video and clarify this thing that I saw, because watching the video, it didn't sit right with me. It's been your boy Mordin, and as you always know, it's always about positivity. If anybody comes to you with a negative vibe, turn around with a smile and say, peace out. Enjoy a good one.